What is up, everybody? TC here with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, smkw.com, and today I'm joined by Maury Ford from Case. He's going to show us some really cool stuff that we've got coming up for 2021 from Case. But before we get started, folks, if you like this video, be sure to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and ring that notification bell so you will know when we drop new videos. You're going to want to know when you get to see this new stuff, all right? Now, without further ado, let's light it up. Maury, how's it going today?
Man, TC, we're doing good. I'm in one of my favorite places in the world, Smoky Mountain Knife Works. You guys have done a lot in that showroom. Real excited about that. But more than anything, just excited to talk case knives. This is my passion in addition to what I do for a living. Glad to share that with you and all your folks here. But
absolutely,
it's going to be a great show, hopefully.
Absolutely. Well, we're really excited, and to speak on that, you know, like you said, we've got a lot of changes that we've done here, and we just showed you around the showroom.
Yeah, man,
showed you all the changes because it had been a while since you've been here. But we've got some really exciting stuff coming up from Case, and we've talked about it on the channel a little bit. And we're going to cover a lot more of them, but you've got some really neat stuff coming up for 2021. What do you want to start with today?
Well, you know, and I know your folks that follow Case closely, you know, really one of the core foundations of our brand is we have a lot of new products every year. You know, we are a handcrafted product. We kind of put a little extra burden probably on our manufacturing facility because our folks that follow us, they really want to look at what's new, what's exciting, what's hot from Case. And when you turn that page to 2021, you know, the very first thing that everybody was wanting to know, man, we probably got this last summer. They're like, what is the vault pattern for 2021? You know, this is our 5th year of the vault. You know, we started back with the Congress, and each year we're doing a knife. We make it for 1 year only. So our big reveal was earlier this year, probably right at the 1st of January, where we revealed that the vault pattern for 2021 is going to be the Copperhead.
Right.
Now, the Copperhead, for those that may not know it, you got to check it out, TC. Man, it is fantastic. But that Copperhead's a little bit smaller than a Trapper. So that's going to run about 3 7/8 inches. And you're going to see that swell bolster. You know, you see that on our canoe, you see it on our copper lock. But the Copperhead itself dates back to the pre-tested era, which is the 1920s on Case knife. So,
right.
When you think about this is a core traditional Case pattern. It's got some size to it, so it's a little bit smaller, like we said, than the Trapper. You're going to see a couple of blade configurations. We're going to have that clip and that pin. You're also going to see a Warncliffe blade on there. But man, it's going to be exciting. Just in the launch, just in our core catalog, there's about 13 editions. Now, all of these should be on your website. You guys premiered this. You were the first place that people could really see it in print. It was on the cover of your catalog.
Right.
Quick sellout. I know we were talking about that earlier. You're like, man, where's that Caribbean blue? I'm like, well, it was the catalog cover, and we'll get more. We're making more.
Right.
We'll make that Copperhead all year. We'll make it in a ton of different handle materials and uniqueness. And, you know, a lot of folks will kind of zero in on that vault pattern every year. Because if you wanted to have a collection from beginning to end, and now there'd be a few of them. Now I'm not going to say you would have to buy some knives, but you would be able to track that and actually probably pick up all those.
Right.
So,
well, and we've talked about it on the channel, and you and I talked about it before. It's a great way to focus your collecting attention. I can say from a collector's perspective myself, it makes it a lot easier if you can focus on a specific pattern, or especially like limited edition runs or sprint runs or those vault patterns, because
100%.
It's something special that's released every year.
Yeah, and you know, it's 1 year. You know, people date knives, and you'll find Copperheads we made previously, but they'll all be dated 2021. There's no doubt about that. And then you're right, it gives you that uniqueness. It's also a perfect size to carry. So it is a great everyday carry, in addition to being something really unique and special. I get people all the time that ask me, okay, my dad or my uncle or my daughter, they collect Case knives. What do I need to get them? Like, well, you know they don't have a Copperhead because it just came out of the vault.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's a good one if you're like, they got so many, I don't know where to start. Copperhead's a great way to do it. But Copperhead's the big splash for this year from the launch. So we're looking at, you know, kicking off the year, new vault pattern, a lot of handle materials, that specific blade coming out of that vault for 1 year production. And then we stop, no matter how good it is. And you can attest from the Barlow to the Pocket Hunter to the Doctor's Knife, you know, as good as it is, and as much as we would like to give it an encore, we're going to put that thing back in the vault, and that's going to drive the value, just going to drive the interest in it.
Yeah,
And that's been a
absolutely.
great program for us.
Yeah. So what else have we got new coming out?
Well, when we look at Case, one of the things that kind of stands out to me this year is that, we are a 132-year-old American-made knife company. We live in that traditional space. That is kind of our wheelhouse, and that's what people expect from us. But you'll be amazed at the innovation that you're going to see from Case in 2021. We're a 132-year-old company, but we don't take anything for granted. We like to look at, what are the materials maybe that are really making a splash in the market. Maybe not even in traditional. Maybe it's custom. Maybe it's something else. But our innovations team has been really busy. So you're going to see some very traditional case knives with some slants that you're like, man, that's kind of fresh for a 132-year-old brand. So you're going to see that in there. So one of the first things, I'll show you that, TC. Micarta, and we've done the black canvas laminate. We've done a lot of things. One of the things I really like about this, so we're using the actual micarta, and micarta is trademarked. There's only a couple companies that can actually, you can advertise it as micarta. So we went to the source of that. It's almost a gray finish, but it's a black micarta. One of the things that I think really dresses this up in a maybe that's an odd way to say it, because it's satin finish.
Yeah.
Those bolsters are satin finish. Those blades are satin finish. So it gives it a really modern look to some degree. But you're used to a case knife being that high polish, that nickel silver high polish,
mirror polish. Yeah.
This satin finish, to me, man, I'm just kind of drawn to it. So you're going to see in the black canvas laminate, we're going to have a lot of series, a lot of knives in that series. But you're going to see that with those satin finish blades. You're going to see those satin finish bolsters. And that beautiful canvas laminate. So, obviously that canvas laminate, micarta has been around for a long time, but some of the slants that we're doing on it, it's going to kind of look a little bit more like the modern and some of the other stuff that we've got. One of the other things I think everybody would really like is black sycamore.
Yes.
Case is known for the use of natural materials, and we've done a lot with hardwoods. We've done a lot. Last year we had some curly oak. We had some different things in the catalog. This is going to be a core family, and it's black sycamore. This material, like a lot of the materials we use, are kind of hard to get. But we're going to have this in the core catalog. We feel like we're going to have strong enough production on that to make it an annual production. Most of these will end up being a one-year deal, not because it doesn't sell, but because some of the materials are limited, and then you also have the whole mix of, we've gotten that one. What else can Case do in a really cool wood material or something like that in a knife? But I love that bow tie shield in there as well.
Yes.
You've got that Case bow tie shield. We've done some of that on the Smoky transition knives.
Yes.
So we did a lot of that last year. So, even in that, so we've got kind of that micarta, which is that modern tech material. You've got black sycamore. It's a hardwood, just a beautiful knife. And then you're going to see some things that you might or might not expect. If you've been following Case, you know that we'll throw a curveball in there some. So we've got a purple bone, and
that's really cool.
When you tell people I've got a purple bone Case knife, they're like, "Man, what are you talking about?" But you look at that deep, rich color. It's got a very traditional look, even though it's kind of a non-traditional color. We've got that diamond double X shield in there, and the strike lines on the bolster. You're going to see that on some of our products. It just kind of dresses it up. You look at some of the old Sheffield knives, and you're going to see those, the fluting of the bolsters, or you're going to see those strike lines. And this knife, to me, man, it really, really sets it apart. It's kind of a dressy knife. You've got that mirror polish. See, you got those. You can put those fingerprints on it.
Fingerprints on it. Yeah.
If you're wanted as a criminal, it's a good way to probably get a fingerprint from someone. But you're going to see that in that purple bone. That's going to be a core catalog. Everything that we've talked about so far, TC, is part of our core line for 2021.
Yeah.
So those will be out and available for a little bit.
Well, and I've got to say, with the purple, it's very unconventional, but at the same time, we found out the other night when we did our live show, people really like the purple. We pulled out a couple of knives from I think I forget who it was, but we had like a bunch of different colors, and we asked the people watching like what their favorite color was, and like most of them picked purple. Yeah, it was kind of surprising.
I think purple is a trending color right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot of folks that are just have always loved it, but I think it's kind of that trending color. We're doing some grays and some purples and things like that, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah, these these bold colors for us are always fantastic. Last year we had a raspberry, which is kind of a pink. Did fantastic. People like it. It either adds to their collection. There's a lot of fashion in what you carry in your pocket.
Exactly.
And if that's something that either speaks to you or appeals to you, or maybe it matches what you're wearing that day. I don't know exactly why they're drawn to all of that, but
well, I mean, in this day and age, we call it pocket jewelry.
Absolutely,
that's essentially what it is.
Absolutely, and especially Case, the artisanship of those. It's really, like you said, the high polish, nickel silver, those polished blades, those mirror polished blades. It is like jewelry, very much is like jewelry. So, just kind of jumping just a little bit, because one of the things that I think a lot of our folks, we've gotten a lot of great comments on some of these things. You're going to see not only some unique handle materials, but you're going to kind of see a resurgence in our chrome vanadium or carbon steel. A lot of people call it chrome vanadium or vanadium. That's our official name is chrome vanadium, but it's high carbon steel. So, if you talk about, a case knife from, the 20s and the tested era,
right?
Most of those are carbon blades. Those are not the true sharp surgical stainless steel. So we're going to do a gray pocket worn. That's a tribal lock, one of my favorite patterns too. We're going to have a gray pocket worn family, and again, these are on your website, so I know you can find them because we've got them scheduled for catalogs. So I know your catalog group is getting everything ready, but that's going to be in carbon. Last year, a lot of our case collectors, we had the whiskey pocket worn, which was really nice and did great. We have some color dye issues with that, getting the material. So we've discontinued the whiskey, but this gray bone, man, we've done it in a few families, but this pocket worn, that extra hand finishing, and then to put that in a carbon blade.
Yeah, and I got to say, I love that blade shape too. It is absolutely gorgeous.
It's great. That's a Tony Bowes design. We'll get into that in a little bit, but that is a Tony Bowes design in that tribal lock. And then we're also going to do what we call our dark red. This is a peach sea jig, dark red bone. It's got a really rich color. It's got that Case tradition shield. If you follow Case, we've got a lot of different shield designs.
Right.
Again, some of our manufacturing team, they're like, do you have to have all of those variations? We're like, well, yes, we probably do.
Yes.
But this is also carbon. So this is chrome vanadium, but you're going to see, if you see it advertised, it's going to be like the dark red CV. Anytime somebody sees that CV, it's that high carbon steel. Now that is a steel that takes some care. It can pit, it can rust.
Right.
I think the beauty of that, it can also season or kind of get that patina on it.
Exactly.
And that's the sweet spot of the steel. So people that are going to work with a knife, people that really, want their knife to hold up, they want to keep that razor edge on it, they'll trend towards CV.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And we'll tell them that way, as long as they don't mind, you got to oil it a little bit, or, there's even tricks that you can go ahead and kind of patina or season that blade.
And I mean, a lot of guys out there are really into their knife maintenance.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's a form of therapy for a lot of us. I can say I'm one of those.
Yes. Yeah, whether it's sharpening, whether it's, it may not be just keeping it high polish. They want to get it to that sweet spot in the steel.
Exactly.
So a lot of folks are doing just that. But you'll see a lot more chrome vanadium or carbon steel from Case in 2021. We're one of the few companies that haven't gotten away from that. A lot of consumers will ask us, man, you need more CV. I'm like, well, we do have, we offer all the yellow in CV. We offer a lot of the amber. We've got some other bone handles. We're going to continue to do that, and it has to be done differently from a heat treat standpoint.
Right.
You got to care for it a little differently in the component parts. But when you get done, you have a fantastic work knife, and you've got a knife that it looks the part, but man, it really holds up to the challenge. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. TC, another one. We talk about all this great innovative handle materials, but when you look at this Rogers Jigged antique bone, man, to me, this is your signature Case knife. If you wanted to do a billboard on what Case is, to me, it's all wrapped up into this knife. This is our trapper pattern, that Rogers jig. And sometimes we will say something about a jig, and people are like, I don't really understand what you're talking about. But that Rogers has got a really good history, and that's that small, tight jig.
Yep.
And it really shows that coloration. You see where they hafted the bone, and it really lightened up around the bolster and around where they turn the edges. But man, that in that jig, it's really a pretty antique color. Got that bow tie shield on it. That is, again, that is very traditional Case.
Absolutely. You showed this to me, and I was like, that's Pawpaw's knife.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what Pawpaw would have pulled out of his pocket on any given day.
Well, and you'd see some of those, when you look at the old green bone and things like that, it kind of reminds you of that a little bit, just from an old, really classic case, even a collector standpoint. But just a traditional case knife, that's good. Now, you got to pick up that Panama because that is the same handle material, and it looks great in a trapper. When you look at that Panama, that's a hoss of a knife right there.
Beast of a knife.
That Panama trapper, so it's the same antique bone. You've got that's a Tony Bowes style design as well. Was designed as a back pocket because Tony said a knife that size you just keep in your back pocket.
Exactly.
And we have some of those with a single blade with a lanyard, but in this Rogers Jigged antique bone, you're going to find that knife just in the two blade, the trapper style blade. So really, really a nice pattern. That's also going to be on your website, and you're going to see a whole family of that antique. So you're going to see those. Like I said, this is our core catalog. Man, we haven't even gotten to the promo stuff yet. Yeah. So we'll kind of speed it up maybe a little bit. I know a lot of folks really want to see everything that we've got. One of the other things that you're going to find, I think is important to say, we talked about purple, but our Ixus Shield series, this is that Christian fish symbol. We've done this family in different handle materials for about 10 years, and it is great. We talked about knives being personal. We talked about knives kind of representing you as a person, representing some of your belief systems. And I think that's why the Ixus Shield series for us has done so well. The purple, while this may not be exactly the liturgical purple that you will see around some of the Christian calendar series, this is, the purple has a really storied history, both within, just religion in general, right, and then a lot of those church calendars and things like that you'll see. But to me, it's a great knife. That symbol, it's just kind of subtle. So it's not there. It's just something that personally, a lot of folks are drawn to. They like to have that on their person. Not as a flashy, this is who I am. It's just, man, this is something I'm going to keep close to me. And what's closer than your pocket knife?
We mentioned Easter before because this has got a very Easter feel to me, and it would make a great Easter gift.
Oh, absolutely.
For somebody special. I mean,
absolutely.
That would be a fantastic Easter gift option right there. It doesn't get any better than that.
And we've seen that, and actually coming up in your catalog, we were looking at doing those with some religious saying knives that we have. But again, a knife is very personal, and it's a statement about who you are, even if that statement is only to yourself.
Exactly.
And I think that's great there. So that, in addition to those, you're going to see a lot of other knives added to families. We've got families that everybody loves. We've got the navy blue with the shield. We've got amber bone. So you will see some additions to that. Invite everybody to check that out on your website.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because if you have a favorite handle material from Case, chances are there's a new addition to that, and it may be the Copperhead, it may be something else. But what we've shown you today are the brand new core families that are going to be brand new product introductions that we really wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to look at.
Yeah, and you mentioned them being on our website and the handle materials and collecting and being partial to different kinds. You can actually filter through those different handle materials on our website. If you go down to the bar on the left-hand side of the website, you can filter through different handle materials and different folding patterns and different blade shapes. And you can find that case pattern that you've been looking for on our website there.
There's a lot of new stuff.
Absolutely.
And I will say, and I'll ask your patience, because I've asked the folks at Smoky, especially the Pipes family. Case is working, man. We're hiring more people. We're working overtime. We're doing everything we can to deliver that quality that everyone expects. But we have seen a huge increase in demand, and we have had some COVID-related shutdowns and restrictions placed on us. So we're having to work mandatory overtime. We've added shifts. Our people, the craftsmen that make this knife, man, they're putting their heart and soul on the line right now. They know that we don't have enough in the market right now. Going by your case counter, if you've been to Smoky, it's starting to get a little bit.
Yeah.
It was anorexic there around Christmas.
Yes, it was.
We are getting some more product in there, but we are working 6 days a week, every week, trying to get more product. So if you see this new product on the website, if it says it's not there, I know you guys have the feature where you can get emailed when it comes in. Go ahead and sign up for that email, because the way it's going to come in, it flies off the shelf. And we're working to get more. Anything that you've seen so far, if you missed it, you should still be able to get it without any trouble. It might just have to be a little patient. We're all learning that. You know, if COVID's taught us, I know you guys have said some of the things, but one of the things, it's a lesson in patience, and that is something that most of us, when we look at a knife that we want, it's tough to be patient.
Yeah.
It's tough to be patient.
Yeah.
But we're working on it, and it's all American-made in Bradford, Pennsylvania, and those folks, just a shout-out to them, because I'm telling you, they're passionate. They're probably exhausted. They're running like it's the holidays again.
Right.
But we're getting there, and they know that we don't want to let anybody down that supports and really likes our brand. So you'll see that. But one of the things we are prioritizing is new stuff, because we want people that are interested to have the new stuff. So you might not be able to get all the other core items that you want immediately, but we're trying to keep the new product flowing. So don't miss out on that. So I'll jump to, if it's okay, I'll jump to some of the spring promotional stuff that we've got.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, let's take a look at that.
So these are the items that are they're limited in nature. So we do a spring, summer, fall, and holiday. Right. Always tell folks, if you see something you like, you got to grab it, because we're going to make one production run, and then it's going to be gone. It's going to be into our dealer network channels, and then it's going to be gone. So most of these are limited productions to one, maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 3,000, whatever it is, and then we're done.
Right.
And then we'll move on. So some of the things that you're going to see in our spring line, this is ebony wood. You know, we talked about Case using a lot of really rich wood, and it's work bolsters. So these are actually hand worked. You've got those nickel silver bolsters, but these are done by hand. So you're going to see it really dresses up that knife. You see Case knives that are scrolled. This is a whole different level. This is some of that you see on those custom knives. You see some of those on,
that's beautiful.
You know, whether it be the painted pony or the yellow horse or things like that.
Right.
These are the type bolsters you're going to see on this carry knife. So you're going to see those. You're going to be able to look at that knife, and you're going to be able to see the craftsmanship in that. And then those beautiful ebony wood handles. So you're going to see that in a limited nature. I believe there's 6 patterns in this. You're going to find a lot of things that you really like in there. You know, one of the other cool things we talked about some of our innovation. We're doing a rich light handle, and when you look at material, rich light is actually a paper composite.
Yeah.
And this is a material that was used in the aeronautics industry. It was used to make furniture. It is really cool. This is a rustic red, so it's got a couple of different colorations in there, and as that product is turned or hafted, you're going to see that grain come out. Looks like a wood grain to me.
It does.
TC.
It really does.
Honestly, but what you're going to find is this is a really high quality material, and what we've seen since we've started working with this, you know, at Case it takes a while. So we started this last year, but since then we've seen custom knife makers use it. We've seen high-end EDC makers use this.
Right.
So it is that modern material, but it's got kind of that traditional look to it, I think.
It really does. It looks fantastic. And it feels really good in the hand. It's super smooth.
Yes. It wears well. You know, it's water resistant. That was one reason it was so popular making furniture and making some other things. But really a great material. This will be in a limited production run. I would imagine as it continues to do well and it's come out of the gate really strong, we'll probably have some other colorations in that rich light.
Right.
But paper composite, you're seeing all this environmentally friendly things. So that's something that we're super excited to be using. We're glad that our innovations team, you know, you will always see bone handle knives from Case. You'll see some synthetics, but then you're going to see some things like rich light that kind of push the envelopes on things that you'll see. That's that Copperhead. That's got the Warncliffe blade. I don't know if you want to show that. But,
yes, absolutely.
You know, we talked about a couple of the blade configurations. That Warncliffe blade, man, that's, I don't know. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. The lines on that,
yeah.
you know, I just think it really looks nice, and I think it will do well. That'll have the Warncliffe and the pin blade in it.
Yeah.
You'll see some different variations of that Copperhead, that vault pattern in that. But the rich light, definitely going to be one of the favorites, and I think it's going to stick around for a while.
Yeah.
Let me show you this. So we've gone one extreme, maybe to the other, but you know, in Case, we're known for natural handle materials. One of our most popular, I think everybody recognizes that yellow handle synthetic, the Delrin type synthetic. We're doing a smooth blue synthetic that's going to be available in our spring. So it's kind of a fresh color, really nice. This is going to be more in the value line. So if someone's looking for that knife, this could be a great everyday carry. It's going to give you some of that some of that value in that case knife, but you're still going to have those mirror polished, true sharp surgical stainless steel blades. You've got just the case oval script shield. Just a beautiful knife. And again, this is going to be in a series, that smooth blue synthetic. This is in a catalog that you guys have coming out. So I know that's on the website and will continue to do well. And those are items, again, you just want to get one. It kind of hurts our feelings when they say, well, I've got a lot of case knives, but I don't carry one. I'm like, man, why don't you carry a case knife? They're like, well, it's too nice, or I don't want to lose it. We're like, don't give up on that. Buy you one. If you lose it, you can go to Smoky, you can get another one. But also, we talked about things speaking about you as a person. Having a good quality American-made product in your pocket. And
Absolutely.
What's better than that? But
exactly.
If you're worried about that, you don't want to do some of these other materials, grab a blue smooth synthetic and put that one in your pocket.
Well, and like we were saying before, that CV too, that's one that I like to use as a everyday carry, because if you're carrying it every day, it's going to force you to keep up that blade. It's going to force you to actually do the blade maintenance and keep it nice. So
absolutely,
those are great candidates for that as well.
Oh, and they are great. You're right. Any of those will be fantastic. A couple other things that we'll show. One of the things that we did this year, and we're owned by Zippo Manufacturing,
right?
Another great iconic American-made brand. But Zippo partnered with Woodchuck, and Woodchuck is a company that kind of works with the environmental sustainability. I think as a brand and just as a community of people, we all have some responsibility to make sure that we're taking care of things for the next generation.
Right.
And this allows us to do. It's a traditional case knife. It's kind of that executive lock back. You're going to see that cedar. It's really like a veneer piece on top of that, and it's got some laser engraved artwork. You'll see that woodchuck on the back. But this is the buy one, plant one. So every time you buy one, there will be a tree planted in an area that has struggled with deforestation. You're going to, in the package of this, you're going to get a certificate, but you'll also get coordinates of where that tree's planted. So
that is really cool.
It will have a longitude and latitude, and if you were so inclined, you could go find that tree.
That's fantastic.
So we're not just saying we're going to plant a tree. We're going to tell you exactly
where it is,
where that tree is going to be. So
that's awesome.
We're proud to partner with that. And again, I think just as part of our social responsibility, but also you got a really cool knife. You've got that American flag on there. We've got some that have camo artwork. We've got lions and giraffe, and there's a whole series of woodchucks. So
that's awesome.
Again, they can find all of that on your website because we're putting that in a catalog now. So it's going to be out there. One of the other things, we talk about some modern. I know this is something that you really like, but we talk about some modern material. And in the modern material, this is that fiber weave. We did an exclusive Smoky blue and black fiber weave that was just on the catalog cover. This is a green and black, and this is a G10 carbon fiber weave. So it is a high-tech handle, man. You talk about a 132-year-old company using carbon fiber and G10, and then the weave and some of the things with that. But it's that's a kickstart. Case has a couple of assisted opening knives that you're going to find. So you've got the kickstart feature in that. You've got the pocket clip, but you've got that high-tech material. You're going to find a whole series in that. And those don't have shields in them, so they're kind of just a real clean look. Right. Obviously, we like to put the case logo. We like to put the case shield everywhere. You're going to have everything on the tang. You're going to have the dating system just like you always would. But that's going to be a knife. I think that, there's a lot of folks, and we talked about this earlier. A lot of folks feel like this is a knife that my dad carried or my granddad carried, and maybe a younger person wants something that's, has some of those features. Maybe it's the assisted open, and maybe it's their use of that material. So this is a knife that your dad or granddad would endorse.
Right.
Maybe it's that knife. And I think you're going to find things from Case in 2021 that's going to start looking like that. We are, I told you earlier, 132-year-old brand. We're proud of our heritage. This is who we are. We know our identity. We know our customer. But we also know that as a collective group in the knife industry, I think, we want to make products that's going to appeal to that next generation.
Right.
We want those folks to value and appreciate and understand the quality of an American-made product. And if they like different features, man, we're gonna kind of stretch the envelope a little bit for us. So I can tell you from the Case brand perspective, there's never been more investment in innovation. There's never been more commitment to American-made quality and getting product to the shelf and to the retailer. So it's really exciting that we're privately held. We're owned by Zippo, one family, that we're willing to make those investments in the long haul. Man, we want to do things that sustain us for the next 132 years and allow destinations like Smoky Mountain Knife Works to be where everybody comes to get their case knife.
Yeah. And, you know, it's one of those things. We talked about it before, and one of the questions that I've heard and we've gotten a lot is, you know, I love case knives, but why don't they make something like this? Or why don't they make more modern folders? And we were looking at that one with the Kickstart. And that's one of the things that we talked about before. And I think everyone is going to be really surprised and really excited about the things that you guys have in store.
Yeah, I would say just kind of, you know, just kind of check us out frequently. If maybe some of these traditional is not your cup of tea, look at the things in the Kickstart. You know, look how we're incorporating some of those features in there.
Yeah.
The back pocket with the lanyard hole. You know, we've got some things that we're doing there. And then again, our innovations team and our engineers. We've got a great group of engineers. You know, we partnered with Southern Grind. We did a lot of things in collaboration with Southern Grind. We learned a lot. I think hopefully we were able to help them along some of that manufacturing trail. But I think you're going to look at Case and you're going to see that you know, we're an innovative brand. You know, we are not going to again, we're just not going to take anything for granted. We're excited about this year. One of the things, TC, I did want to mention. I know we probably got to wrap it up in a minute, but you know, a lot of the questions we're getting, I think, from your consumers, from our consumers in general, is, you know, what is the plan for 2021?
Right.
We are all navigating this crazy time in the best way that we can. I can tell you that we are a brand that is better in a community of people.
Yeah.
So our goals and plans for this year and kind of the way we're planning is to do things. We're going to have some events. If things work out, we're not going to take any crazy chances. But if we feel like collectively that things are safe, I tell you, we want to be back in front of our consumer. We want to be back at Smoky Mountain Knife Works behind that counter.
Absolutely.
With shoulder to shoulder. You know, and that's probably a terrible thing to say in the middle of a pandemic, but as soon as it is safe, or if we can do it safely, and we found that too. There are things that we can do to make sure. But, you know, I can tell you as a brand, we want to engage that consumer. We want to get together. So hopefully there'll be consumer events. I can tell you one thing: if there are consumer events, there will be an event at Smoky Mountain Knife Works because this is the destination.
Absolutely.
So,
and you know, we talked about it before. A lot of stuff is still up in the air right now.
Right.
We're kind of playing it by ear, flying by the seat of our pants, and we're working it out. But stay tuned, because anytime that we make a decision on something like that, we are going to announce it as soon as we find out. So as soon as we know, you're going to know. So stay tuned. We're hoping that we can get some events like that rolling, and we're really excited about what the future holds. Maury, thank you so much for joining us.
Man, this was fun. You know, and this is anytime you guys want to talk case knives, you just let us know. You know,
absolutely,
we're all in.
We will definitely be in touch, and we will definitely be looking forward to what we've got coming up, folks. If you've liked this video, again, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. This has been TC with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, smkw.com, joined by Maury Ford from Case Knives. And if it cuts, we carry it.